Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Splash. You ain't poppin'. Huh? I'm staring at a table full of bosses. The game looking like a holocaust. All these diamonds in my chain, you can't cross.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Cav Lyrikz. It's a vibe, but it's definitely different. And right now, I'm with the man, the myth, the legend, and we're here on the business talk. Can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, man. Appreciate your kind words. My name is Ivan Brugueras Pooch, here at your service, CEO, owner of Hipstop Clothing. And I'm about to smoke this one right now.
He's teaching me a little something. This is a game of wisdom, so I feel like this game is the perfect scenario for us because you've got full of wisdom in you.
Oh, thanks, man.
You've been around for a while. We've been doing this for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's get to it. So what made you get started?
What made me get started with Hipstop was I had lost my job and I had took $100 investment and bought like 20 mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
At $5 a piece, and I sold them the same day, like $10. And I just kept reading up and flipping them over.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Hipstop started. It was just a mixtape booth.
Okay.
And it was inspired from a job I had lost, and I needed to make a move.
You must really like that job, and you wanted to do your own thing with it, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was going. Well, I knew it would do well. I didn't think it would take off so well at the time, and I kind of made it my job at the time, and it took off from there, and then it just innovated.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real big motivation right there to just take something so small and then look what you have now. You started from CDs, so now you're in the clothing business and you have a whole spot on Park Street at that. So
yeah, right.
that's an accomplishment.
It is. Well, to correct you, I actually started with cassettes. Man.
Oh wow!
I don't mean
to
time myself and age
right.
myself, but and then the transition to CDs.
Oh, so you just went with the time? That's
yeah.
You
man.
evolved.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, and Hipstop was definitely inspired from a street vendor. I came up from the bottom, from the roots, and from just being consistent and just always reading up. That might be the key, man. Read up all the time, because if you do, you always gonna have some work.
Right.
Anyways, so that was the secret to it. I always had money for the re-up, and it trickled into a snowball effect, and it got bigger. And then I just gradually invested into more things, and I got into T-shirts, clothes, and one day I just was looking through the window of a business and decided to rent a location and went from a street vendor into a place.
So this whole spot, that's crazy. That's inspirational, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, starting from you getting building just from basically starting off the trunk. Basically, that's what we're saying. Pushing it out the trunk. You feel me? To getting the spot. Would you ever imagine you coming this far, like from where you were?
No, because I didn't envision a store. It was small. It was a mixtape booth. I didn't think I'd be selling clothes. And then so that definitely that was a whole different new business for me too. But I wanted to capitalize, since I was already a street vendor. Why not sell other products when I'm there?
Right.
So it just helped me create more revenue, and because of that, I was able to invest more. And then obviously, the more you invest in any business, the more you should make.
Right. So would you feel like you're gonna just stop here, or you feel like you got other ventures you're trying to tap into as well? I think it's your goals.
Yeah. So I do have other ventures I want to tap to as well. I started already working. I already started a venture that I thought of before in the past and never thought about actually doing it. And I was opening up, starting a online radio station with my partner Jamal Shell. We put this together.
Yeah, Hipstop Radio, right?
Yes.
And it's
Hipstopradio.com.
Hipstopradio.com, and it's been doing good. I seen you got a couple good artists on there.
Thank
And you're not only playing mainstream people, you're giving everybody.
We definitely wanted to create a main platform for independent artists in specific.
Right.
And then when we are playing mainstream artists, we're focusing more on the throwbacks.
Right.
Classic genre, the classic music.
It's dope. It's not too many people doing
it. It's something that I only thought of, and I had my buddy Jamal, my bro, he was experienced, and he put me onto it. I felt like it was something I understood, something
Okay.
that I knew, that I learned naturally.
And if I'm not mistaken, you also, your son, God bless his soul, Splash, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was doing big things out there, right? Let's talk about him. Let's talk
Well,
about what
yeah,
he had going on.
Yeah, my son, he was always into music as a young kid, growing up, dancing specifically. He enjoyed dancing, and anytime we had a party or something like that, he was the one that would take over the dance floor, and everybody just gathered around and watch him dance. So he definitely had the music. He was definitely inspired by music, and at one time in his life, he decided to use music as a tool to deal with his anger management or mood disorder that he had at the time, and he would use music to cope.
Yeah, as an outlet.
As an outlet, and from there, I seen how talented he was, and I decided to invest into him, and that's all I did. I believed in him, and because he was my son first, and why not give him, why not, well, I'm blessed enough to have the opportunity first to be in a position to go all the way. We had a motto. It was called the No Excuse
No
Campaign.
Excuse Campaign
And,
Season 2.
by all means, we were gonna make it. No excuses. And we were on our way there, and unfortunately, he passed away in a car accident. Him and his friend passed away in 2016, June 19th. It fell on Father's Day. That didn't make a difference actually, but just adding. But it was definitely a tragedy, and it still affects me dramatically to this day. I just recently started seeking therapy for that. It took me a while, and I'm struggling. My son. We had a great relationship for years. That was my little road dog, and for having to go walk in one day to a hospital room to go identify him is a moment that I'll never forget. Opening the door, hoping that it wasn't him back there, and unfortunately it wasn't a dream, and it's my reality that I live with every day. And I wake up to every day.
I'm truly sorry you had to experience that, man, and it takes a lot, especially for a parent to have to bury their child before they're able to bury the parent. Is crazy. It's not even supposed to work like that. That's what they say. And for you to keep pushing, that takes a lot, and I commend you for that, and I really admire you for that. Keep pushing and keep going, because as you said, the No Excuse Campaign, you ain't making no excuses. You're still pushing, and you're still pushing his name and let him live through you as much as you can, and I appreciate that from the team, the business, from everybody that's gonna see this interview from right now, because that right there just gave me chills, man. Like you just keep going.
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, he's my son, like I stated, and in those memories that I have, those videos that we have, over 100 videos so forth on YouTube. The channel is Splash 203. And then if you go and you check them out, you'll see our journey, us campaigning, father and son, around the United States. Not just here. We're in Texas. We're at South by Southwest. We're in New York. We're in Atlanta, and to be able to put him there in that position really makes me. It's really rewarding to me. Because at least I feel good that I was able to give him that life, that I was able to show him that, that even though at times the budget was a little tight and it was, and we couldn't send him at the time to South by Southwest in Texas to capitalize on marketing, we made it happen. And I couldn't go, but he went, you know what I mean? And he went with his team, and he went with his industry manager, and, to be able to send him over there and have him experience that in such a short time that he lived is rewarding to me, to be able to put my son in that position as at such an early age. That to be able to know that he lived a good life.
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, it was a good feeling for me.
That's dope. So tell me about what's been going on with you lately. Like, what's been going on in your life? The major impacts that's been going on, but you're still striving for sure.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Just recently, about 3 weeks ago, I came out publicly. I did a video on YouTube. It's on my page. I ran Brugueras on Facebook. I gotta find a way to share it. If you have it, please share it, because it shows the raw reality of how life can take a twist. Right? We're playing this game. We don't know how it's gonna end.
Right.
You know who's gonna be the winner, right?
Right.
That's just how life is. We don't know what's gonna play in front of us. And I was dealt with the cards and a diagnosis of gastric stage 4 cancer. It's bad enough when you hear this diagnosis like cancer. People already think death with a cancer diagnosis. So to have a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, that's what people already think, right? So I came out publicly for one. I want to get that out my chest, and I want to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, make some awareness.
Openly.
Yes. That's what.
And number one, and the reason for it, to bring awareness, and so that I don't let this diagnosis go in vain, right? So that we could gather some data and talk about what's working for me. So just in case someone else like myself is doing research, looking online to see what's working for different individuals, at least that data is there.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, that's all I'm doing all the time is researching. I'm looking to see what other people who were diagnosed with cancer are doing for care. Because, for myself, I like to, me personally, I'm practicing holistic care.
Okay.
I do meditation or yoga in the morning, depending if I'm rushing or not. But I try to focus. I try to do at least 5 to 10 minutes of meditation.
Okay.
And it entails a 3-second inhale and a 4-second exhale. So your exhale being a little bit longer, but when you exhale, let it, whatever you're holding inside, let it out. And the reason for that is to, relieve the stressors that we carry. Cancer grows off stress, grows off sugar, grows off caffeine. It grows off a lot of different things that you as an individual, if you're diagnosed with, can do your own research and find on the World Wide Web. I'm going to share my journey. I decided to call it Hipstop Cancer.
Okay.
And it's going to entail me talking about me and what I'm doing for care, and what I'm going through in my mental state and what I'm going through overall.
Okay.
And that's just being me, just being transparent of what's working for me. Not saying that it's going to work for you, but what's working for me, you'll be able to see that. Pretty soon, I'm working on my website and trying to launch it within the next week. And follow me on Hipstop Clothing, and you'll be able to see what that website will be. And that's on Instagram. So that's what I'm dealing with.
So you finding that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you. I know it's gonna, of course, push you to go harder. But do you feel like, all right, now I gotta do things. I gotta do things really quicker and faster.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly it. It's like my life is being fast forward 20 years from now.
Right.
It's a life and death diagnosis. Actually, the doctor said it was a death diagnosis because he said that there was no cure, that I could only be treated. I haven't accepted it.
Yeah.
The doctor told me I was diagnosed with it, but I haven't said I had it. I have it. You know what I mean? Because I don't live like I have it. I don't wake up thinking about it. I think about waking.
You're so humble. You're still so chill and humble. It's like it's amazing.
Man, I think about thinking about my son. If anything, I don't think about my diagnosis.
So even though like you're going through that and like not be able to tell is crazy. Like, it's definitely a pleasure stopping here at Hipstop. You got to tell them the address and where they could come get fly and jiggy at though. We got to make sure.
All right. So listen, man. Our address is at 693 Park Street, Hartford, Connecticut. But globally, we're at hipstopclothing.com. So if you're in Indonesia, you can purchase on hipstopclothing.com.
So if you can't make it to the shop on Hipstop. Go to hipstopclothing.com.
Yeah, we got you
no
covered.
matter where you are. So,
It's a pretty good feeling waking up in the morning, checking my email, and I noticed that I've sold 4 or 5 items.
Right.
One's going to Cali, one's going to Utah.
Motivation.
Yeah, it's motivation.
Motivation. But I appreciate you for having the Biz Talk here and sharing your life with us and sharing your goals and your accomplishments is highly appreciated. And I just got a couple more questions for you. So,
Sure.
any young entrepreneurs out there or anyone that's trying to be on the level that you're at or trying to start a clothing brand, what would be your advice to them?
What helped me out was I was always consistent. I always open my doors at 10. Even though I could come late, because I'm the boss, I make it a point to come early. If it's snowing, there's a blizzard outside, I make it a point to come early. And because I no excuse campaign, you know, we make it, we gotta be there, you know, that's the motto. So consistency has always helped me. I feel that if you're consistent with your clothing brand, with your designs, and you're coming out with a design for the spring, you're coming out with a design for the summer, the fall, to me, that's consistency in a clothing brand. From being a person who buys clothing from different companies, like someone who is starting, right? They started off with a clothing brand, but the big goal one day is to open up a store, a company, a clothing company like New Era. You see New Era? I have an account with New Era, and New Era's vision one day was probably to start off a clothing brand or one style of hat. They never knew that they were going to be the #1 sponsor of the NBA. You know what I mean? And so, and that's my advice to you, is to have a vision, to have a dream, first and foremost, and then gradually cross your T's on your list as your goal. Have daily goals to work towards your main one, and just check off your list. And as you do, you'll attain your goal a lot faster. That's my advice.
So you heard it here, you guys. So I hope you guys can take something from what he said. If you ain't catch it all, if you feel like it ain't connect to you, still, I know someone's gonna grab something from that advice. So stay tuned. And if you need to get jiggy and fly, come down to Hipstop Clothing and get right, or go to their online website, hipstopclothing.com. And that pretty much wraps it up. This is the Business Talk, and we out of here.
Salute.
I appreciate you, man. You got some dope stuff there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like this. Again, it's your boy Kev Lyrikz, the vibe, but it's definitely different. And we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, Pooch, the owner of Hipstop. So I got a couple more questions for you. So I hear that, I don't know, I heard it through the grapevine. I hear that you're coming to a close, like that you're deciding to close down Hipstop. Yeah. Is that right?
Close.
Okay.
So I'm not actually closing it down. I'm actually selling it.
Okay.
So I want to keep the legacy going.
Okay.
So I'm looking to bless someone because the store is established. It is doing really well, and I'm only retiring because I have to sit down and get well with my health.
All right. So when you decide to sell, right?
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Oh, so when I decide to sell, I'm just gonna relax and focus and spend time with my family.
Okay.
And I am going to work on a radio station, work on invest on properties.
Okay.
And concerts, do a couple concerts here and there. But right after I do retire, me and my wife are gonna go around the world.
Around the world.
In 40 days.
40 days.
So we're doing 6 countries, 4 continents. We're flying out to Tahiti, the French Polynesian Islands. And from there we'll be going to Australia, Bali, Thailand, the Maldives, Egypt, and then we'll be returning home. We'll be flying west and returning east. It's called the YOLO Tour, and I'm going to go with my wife, and we're going to spread the message of hope, cancer awareness, but most important, hope.
That's a big move, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, I want to be like you when I die. I swear.
Appreciate it, man. All the flights are booked. We ready to go, and for now, we're just looking for the lucky person, or individual who's going to be the new owner of this.
So listen, you heard him. He's looking for a new owner of Hipstop. So if you feel like you got what it takes to take over this legacy right here, tap in with him. You're gonna leave his information in the comments and everything. So make sure y'all hit him up. Y'all gotta be right. Y'all minds gotta be right. You see how humble this guy is. So come on, let's get to it.
Absolutely.
It's the biz talk.
Puerto Rico, I speak in sofrito, seco quito, I speak Spanish un poquito, keep some lying, rep your city, rep your island, go keep, when you hear that, know we out here mobbing,
Gaby Stop, que bonita bandera, que bonita bandera. Ey, yo soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas, ya tú sabes, dale, dale, wow. Website, splashthepillboy.com, you see it on the screen. And all my social media networks are there, man. You know what it is, man. CT, what's up, man? I got us. Splash, no excuse campaign. The movement, the grind is real. We out.
My neck and the rollie on my hand. Shout out to the homie Ricky Tan. My crew just swear to count all his cash. And while I see the CT, what up, Splash?
Damn, Mrs. Hip Hop, how you doing? You been missing what it seemed. Last night I woke up from a dream, like big on the scene. I was trying to kick them, that knowledge reign is supreme, so they don't get the memes. Let me break it down from break dance to the breaking stages down. This letters for pun, this letters for big, this letters for real, this letters for pot, this letters for L. Mrs. Hip Hop, and if you know that, you know me well. And I'm just trying to bring back the feel and the raw ill skill that you need to conceal. I reveal, yeah, Mrs. Hip Hop, you gon' get better. I got us forever, we'll do it together. Yeah, Splash, yeah, Mrs. Hip Hop. How you been? How you doing, Mrs. Hip Hop? You been missing. I can't really see you no more. I found you, I'ma survive you to feel this again. Yeah, I'ma kill this again.
Ounce. We don't do the bounce. Alright. Yeah, Mrs. Hip Hop, it's your dope boy Troy. Avenue, I ain't mad at you, no she coy.